My name is Mike Brinza, and we reside in Downers Grove, Illinois. We started to build an outdoor pool environment. We thought about it about 7 or so years ago. We had a regular pool in the backyard that was built, very standard, and it all culminated from wanting a slide for the kids. At that point, I was introduced to Dan at All Seasons. As we started talking about it a little bit more, we recognized how the space could be used much better than it currently was being used. So initially what we had decided was, yeah, we wanted a slide. And then we looked at the slide, and the slide was pushed a little bit back against our existing fence. And I said, well, how are we going to get around if we want to get around to the other side of the slide? Dan said, you know, we can build a tunnel. And I said, well, what happens when we get to the other side of the tunnel? And he said, well, why don't we make a nice waterfall coming off the end of the tunnel? I said, well, that's really neat. I said, well, you know what else we could do? We could make this little kind of like waiting area for little babies and moms. And as you see on the wall, there's dinosaur bones. There's a dinosaur skeleton on the wall. My wife is a Disney fan. If you look throughout the pool area, you'll see different hidden Mickeys. Chris, my wife, had decided that there was a couple of things that we should add. One being the splash pad, which is really kind of fun. It's decorative. Not only is it decorative, kids love it, and I found that more adults spend time in it than the kids do. One of the issues we had with the old pool and the sandbox is kids would come in, they would walk from the sandbox into the pool. Dan had come up with an idea of creating a pagoda that you have to walk through. It fills up with water, and you have to walk through it in order to wash your feet to get into the pool. Within the gazebo, we obviously have cable TV in here. We have wired music, a fireplace. My favorite outdoor activity out here is sitting on a cooler night and watching TV and putting the fireplace on and just sitting, relaxing, watching TV. The backyard has changed our lives in that we spend much more time out here than we would in our house. The single biggest thing I hear from people when we tell them we have a pool is, boy, that's a lot of maintenance. The easiest thing in my house to deal with is my swimming pool. I've had a relationship with All Seasons now for 10 years. The initial remodeling that Dan had done was done so well, and his team did such a wonderful job with it. They're professional. They got the job done on time. They know what they're doing. They overcame any obstacles they had the ability to overcome. If you're going to consider a backyard renovation, I would highly recommend that you consider All Seasons. They have been consistent in their performance, and they have been consistent in their quality, and they have been consistent in their pricing. I think All Seasons is such a good pool company. My neighbor right next door to me has a pool, and I recommended All Seasons about 5 years ago, and he's been using them ever since. So I certainly wouldn't recommend somebody I wasn't comfortable with to somebody I have to live next door to.